PlayStation 22.
We begin the same way every other Ace Attorney game kicks off, with a murder. This murder just so happens to take place in the office of prosecutor Miles Edgeworth. Upon discovering the body, Edgeworth has a gun pointed on his back. More on that later. With some help from Detective Gumshoe, Edgeworth points out the real culprit, a fellow prosecutor. I'm pretty sure eating that metal isn't good for your health. Yeah, he's dead. After this, Edgeworth gets some evidence for a case he's working on. More on that after the flashback. Edgeworth is flying home from a trip abroad when he discovers a dead dude in an elevator. Not only does this give him PTSD because, don't forget the L6, but also he ends up getting accused for the murder. Gumshoe shows up to help, but so does Miss Whip Lady herself, Franziska von Karma. Franziska is here because an Interpol agent, aka the victim, was investigating a smuggling ring here in the plane. Soon enough, Edgeworth is able to reveal the culprit in the form of a flight attendant. No, not that one, the other one. Now Edgeworth hears about a kidnapping going on in an amusement park, so he goes to pay the ransom, but as you may have expected, it's a trap, and he ends up getting kidnapped himself. But then he's rescued by this chick, Kay Faraday, who claims to be the Yatagrasu, a thief who goes around stealing evidence of the corrupt and hands them over to the police to find. So, it's kinda like an anti-thief or something like that? Like Robin Hood? As you would expect, another murder shows up, and he runs into this guy, Agent Lang, an Interpol agent from the Republic of Zhangfa. He hates prosecutors, so he's not exactly happy with Edgeworth getting all wrapped up in his case. Meanwhile, Edgeworth gets help from old friends like Emma Skye and... Oh god, not her! Why her? Edgeworth exposes the kidnapped victim, the kidnapper, and the killer all in one pink-vested package. Also, what is up with those ears? I mean, Jesus Christ! And now, another flashback, but this time it's in Edgeworth's younger days, where just as he's about to begin his very first trial, a double murder occurs. One of the victims just so happens to be Kay Faraday's father, and Gumshoe is the one accused of committing the crime. But as it turns out, the killer was none other than a defense attorney named Callisto Yu. She manages to get away. I'm sure we'll see her again sooner or later. And you know what? That time is now, because as it turns out, Kay has been searching for Edgeworth so that he can help her track down Callisto, who she believes is pretending to be the Yatagarasu so that she can give the Yatagarasu a bad reputation. They go to Zhangfa to find Callisto, but you know how this goes by now. There's a murder, Kay ends up getting accused, and now they have to investigate again. Edgeworth discovers that Callisto Yu was right here all along, disguised as Agent Lang's partner, Sheena. She tries to kill Kay, but is ultimately foiled by Detective Gumshoe's mentor, Detective Bad, who not only reveals that the Yatagarasu is 3 people, himself, Callisto, and Kay's father. But remember that guy who threatened Edgeworth with a gun at the beginning? Yeah, that was bad. I mean, not bad as in it was bad for him, but Detective Bad. I mean, it was bad for him, but you know what I mean. Edgeworth isn't done yet, though. He still needs to find the culprit of the murder and the culprit of a case that happened a long time ago, the KG-8 incident. Okay, KG-8, DL6, SL9, what the hell is up with these case names? Anyway, through some investigating that is way too complicated and convoluted for me to explain in a 5-minute summary, Edgeworth exposes the killer of the KG-8 incident, the killer of the current murder, the smuggling ring leader, and an ambassador of Zhangfa, Quarkus Alba. The game ends with Edgeworth being ready for Alba's trial and saying that sweet, sweet word.
Objection!